Hello everyone, my name's Emma from Balanceworks Yoga. Thank you very much for joining me for this video, for this yoga practice. We have reached the 7th week of our chakra series, so we are focusing on our crown chakra today, which is otherwise known as Sahasrara. I have to be careful how I say that, it's a bit of a tricky one to pronounce. Sahasrara, the crown chakra, which is obviously at the top. We've moved all the way through the chakra system, the energy systems in our body, culminating in the crown, the sort of realm of our higher consciousness, which is located at the top of our head, or even just sort of floating above this sort of area here, sort of connecting us to the ultimate truth, to a higher consciousness, to something bigger than ourselves, something which can be very hard to get our heads around, and is pretty elusive for most people in their sort of daily lives. But we can definitely have a go at opening, activating, whatever word you want to use, this kind of idea of trying to sort of focus on something that's the bigger picture, if you like. And there's this little quote here that I quite like, which says that when our crown chakra is cleansed and open, we experience divine union and cosmic love stretching on forever, which sounds very lovely. But generally, if we are fairly aware in this area of ourselves, we will have a good sense of intuition. So linking back to the chakra from last week, the third eye, a good sense of maybe spirituality and faith, a clear sense of direction or purpose, increased empathy and understanding for others, a bit less sort of self-centered. So the signs of it being blocked are sort of feeling a bit disconnected from the world, a bit disconnected from other people, lacking faith, direction, spirituality, and maybe struggling to find meaning in life. So that sort of sums it up a little bit. The colour can be either described as a violet colour or a bright white. Again, another quote that I saw was like a million stars all together. So a really sort of amazing, sort of magical colour or light. So yeah, just associated with our ability to connect with the rest of the world, all beings, nature around us. That's why it's lovely to do yoga outside, the rest of the world and the universe. There are not many yoga poses that do access the crown of our head, apart from headstand being one of them. We will be having a go at building up and preparing our body for a headstand. No obligation to do it today, but just getting our body ready for it. We will start in a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you, so just get comfortable. And just take a moment to arrive, as we always do. Roll the shoulders back and down. Close the eyes and inhale and exhale. Using the exhale just to relax and soften and let go of anything you need. Inhale the present moment, any sensations around you, and exhale the past. Let go of anything that's bothering you, that's weighing you down. And we're just going to start a bit of gentle up and down with the head, just a gentle bit of motion, just to begin to warm up our neck. Lifting our chin and then gently bringing the chin down to our chest, feeling that stretch down the back of our neck. Lovely. Inhale up and exhale down. Just feel through. Any neck movement's fine. You can take your head from left to right. Gently going to the range that feels okay for you. Come back to center. And we're just going to bring our arms all the way up and then down to prayer position. Let's go one more time. Inhale up, reaching up. And exhale, bring our hands down to our heart. Positive self-talk is another brilliant thing to do generally, but a powerful tool in opening the crown chakra, and improving our feeling of connection and overall well-being. So we can invite an affirmation here. Anything that comes to mind, or you can say to yourself, I am connected to the universe. I am part of nature. I am at peace. Or my favourite, all is well and I am safe. All is well and I am safe. So being grateful for this moment, being here and being safe. And then we'll just finish with an Om. Again, another lovely thing to do in nature. If you're ever in nature and you want to have an Om, we're going to use the Ah and the Oo and the the 3 different sounds of the Om. And it's just great for resonating through the head, through the skull, and really maybe radiating out of our crown chakra today and just beginning to open up, connecting to everything around us. So hands wherever you like them, and take a deep inhale. And off we go. Lovely way to start and just settle. Okay, we're going to stretch the legs out now and just give them a lovely stretch if you've been kneeling or cross-legged, finding our Dandasana, our staff pose, taking a moment to sit nice and tall, lengthen the spine, tuck the chin. And we're just going to have a go at just gently warming up and stretching our hamstrings slightly. So we're going to bring our hands, our fingertips to our temples, flex our feet here so we're getting a deeper stretch down our hamstrings, and just lean the chest forward. So we're taking a hinge from the hip. Just gently, then come back up again. So a couple of up and down until you feel the stretch, down again. Rather than hands here can help us from just thinking, right, I need to get all the way down, and just pushing it a bit far and rounding the back rather than keeping a nice long back. Reach forwards, maybe hold here. Then you can relax the hands, maybe soften the head. You can have a little bend here if that feels better, until you can feel that lovely stretch down the hamstrings. If you want a bit more, you can push the heels away. Come all the way back up here, little loop with the shoulders. Bring the feet wide, maybe just off the mat, and take a little windscreen wiper with the knees, just stretching out through the whole leg, the hips. Get a little bit of a back twist as well. Option here to take away the hands, lift the hands, you know what I mean. And there's a beautiful, is it there's a butterfly, it's red and black and white. Is it Admiral? Red Admiral? It's beautiful. As you do this without the hands, you often shuffle up the mat again, which is fine. Okay, we're going to keep the legs wide now, on a nice straddle. And same sort of thing, flex the feet, maybe a bit of point and flex here, just open up the toes a little bit of movement. And then we're going to bring our hands to our elbows, and again take a little fold forwards, trying to hinge from the hip, bringing the hands forwards, trying to really think about bringing the chest forwards rather than down. Inhale, come back up, exhale forwards. Inhale up. Flex the feet, exhale forwards. Hold it if you can. Taking a couple of breaths here. Really feeling that stretch through the hamstrings. And then come back up. Lovely. Give your legs a little bit of a jiggle. And anything you need, we'll be coming into tabletop position now and warming up the wrists. So just finding a nice stable table. So hands, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips, and just start drawing a few circles with the hips. But if you want to tap into your third eye intuition that we said we're activating last week, you can use your intuition here and find whatever feels good. I'm going to go figure of 8, so I'm going to draw some figure of 8 with my hips. Just see where the mood takes you. It's nice to just let the body decide what it needs here, depending on what's going on with your back, your neck, your shoulders. Lovely. Okay, warming up the wrists, we take the fingertips out to the side and just have a gentle rock here, side to side. Maybe you want to come into a cat pose and round the shoulders and back a bit, the upper back. Lovely. Then send the fingertips maybe pointing to your knees. Maybe you do one, maybe you can do both. Yeah, that might be enough of a stretch for you, just to see how it feels. If you want more, you can just gently lean backwards to peel the heels of your hand. Shouldn't hurt, just feel it. Giving a good stretch all the way down the arms, through the fingers. Okay, back to where they were. We're going to flip the palms up and face the fingertips inwards. You can either do one hand at a time or you can do both. Feeling it really through the backs of the hands, through the backs of the forearms. Less pressure, we can bend the elbows. More, we can straighten, we can Give the fingers a wiggle, turn them into fists, open and close. Feeling a bit of discomfort there, but it's really good to have the wrists and hands warmed up for yoga and generally for the practice today. Lovely, let's just kneel back. I'll just sit on our heels and just roll the wrists out, just anything they need here. Maybe an inhale in one direction to remember to breathe, and exhale in the other direction. Lovely. Let's reach the arms up, have a stretch, bring the hands together and all the way down. We're going to open up the hands, bring the backs of the hands together, tilt the fingers in towards you, keep taking them outwards, and then we're going to bring the palms facing again and then open out that book and then draw the fingers into each other. So your hands will probably only go in one direction here. You can't make them go in a direction they're not going to, so just let them flow. Nice to just give the wrists a little gentle stretch here and change direction. And if it doesn't feel good or it's just too much for your brain, then just whatever you like, just give them a little flamenco separately. Okay, we're going to come back into tabletop position. And we're just going to isolate our shoulders for a moment, concentrate on our shoulders, and I want you to allow the shoulders just to cave in, to retract, so squeeze together. So our chest lowers down and our shoulders retract, they squeeze, but our arms are long here. And then we're going to keep everything in the same position, but separate the shoulders. So the chest lifts as we just separate the shoulders. So now coming into protraction, retraction, protraction. And keep going through this motion, just squeezing, allowing the shoulders to retract, come close to your ears, and then separate so they're away from your ears. One more. It's really good to get to know what's going on with your shoulders, because when we're going into like headstand or handstand and lots of positions, crow pose, we really want to separate the shoulders. We get a lot more strength if we're taking them away from our ears and spreading them apart. So just feel through the retraction first of all, get to know what that feels like, and then press away and spread and protract the shoulders. Almost not quite a cat pose, we're not coming round and bring the head down, we're just separating the shoulders. Lovely. From here we're going to walk the hands forwards as far as we can. Walk, 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 trying to keep the hips over the knees as we melt down, getting a lovely stretch through the shoulders. Whew. Maybe the forehead comes down to the mat, maybe not. If it does, I want you to lift the forehead here, and I want you to, again, just protract the shoulders. I want you to push them away from each other. But also trying to melt down here. Trying to melt down, but also lift the chest. So we're getting this like opposing force of energy. Big stretch through the arms, through the shoulders. One more breath. And then walk the hands in. Well done, lovely. One more little thing while we're here is going to take our hands a bit wider, maybe off the mat, fingertips facing sort of diagonally. And we're just going to lean into one of our shoulders, dropping it down, extending it, the other arm's bent, and then over the other side. I just tend to call this side to sidey. So we're going to drop one shoulder, and then drop the other shoulder. Getting a lovely stretch. You might need to separate your hands a little bit further to feel through. See what feels right here. If you want to, you can sort of take a little glide all the way around and do this little shuffle, drawing sort of circles with your chest, and then change direction. Or you can just go from side to side. Lovely. Walk the hands back in again and just shake things out for a moment. Roll the shoulders. One more little thing to do to prepare, all these things are really great for preparing our body for headstand, is to come back into puppy pose, and we're just going to come onto our forearms. So we're going to bring our elbows down to where our wrists are. So we're going to bring one elbow here, the other elbow here, and then going to interlace our hands, create a little fist here. I'm going to come a bit further forwards actually, because what I'm going to do now is walk my feet backwards and try and come into a forearm plank. So you could either be nice and plank-like with drawing your belly in and your hips down, just like we do in a standard plank, or you can keep the knees down. So you could have the knees down here, maybe trying to shuffle them out, shuffle them back slightly, and have a little rock maybe over our forearms. So if your knees are up, you can have a nice little rock here, really exercising and building strength through our arms and shoulders, which is what we need for headstand. Because conversely to the name of headstand, most of the weight shouldn't be going through our head. It should be going through our shoulders and arms and forearms. Lovely. Let's bring the knees down and let's walk back into a child's pose. Ooh. Big breaths here. Just maybe slide the hands alongside you. Just relax the shoulders for a moment. Have a rock. Ooh. Lots going on with the upper body, the arms. So really take this time to rest. Big breaths. Maybe taking time to remind you for gratitude. I always like to take my mind somewhere really positive in child's pose. Reminding myself of all the abundance around us. Again, just something that's really good for connecting with our crown chakra while it's on, connecting with the ground, reminding ourselves that it's solid, that we're safe, all is well. Slide the hands under our shoulders and roll back up. Beautiful. Okay, downward dog. Walk the hands out. Tuck the toes. Lift the knees, then draw the hips backwards. Have a little pedal with the feet. Feel a lovely stretch through the hamstrings, through the back, the arm, the shoulders. Bend the knees as much as you need here to try and bring your belly a bit closer to your thighs. But again, try to protract those shoulders so we're not letting them sink in towards our ears. So a little bit of a rounding of the upper, sort of the cervical spine. And then come up on our tiptoes. We're going to walk our toes all the way to our hands. Bring our heels down when we arrive and find our forward fold. Maybe a little ragdoll here. Little sway, stretch the backs of the legs. Bend the knees as much as you need. Relax the arms and then slowly roll up to mountain. Whew. Take a moment to adjust to the new position. Especially coming from an inversion straight away up, it's really good to take your time, get your bearings, have a little rock through your feet, feeling nice and solid on the ground, finding our lovely tall mountain pose. Crown of the head is the mountain, our arms, the fingertips, the side, nice and strong, majestic, solid. Take a moment here, really sort of thinking about the light radiating through our crown, sort of drawing the energy downwards, but also radiating upwards, our connection to the universe. Let's reach our hands all the way up. Bring the hands together, maybe interlace the hands and push the palms up. Not sure if that goes off the camera, but I'm pushing the palms upwards just to really get a lovely stretch there and a lovely lift. Inhale and exhale, release the hands all the way down. And then bring them downwards, again in that interlace position. One more all the way up. Interlace the palms, press them upwards. This time when we release, we're going to come all the way back down into a fold. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, come up one more time. Take your time, rolling through the spine. Little roll of the shoulders at the top. And I'm going to bring our hands to prayer position and open the hands up. So only the index finger and the thumbs are touching. This is like one of the Sahasrara mudras, crown chakra mudras, that you can maybe hold up towards your crown. Again, just a little symbol of openness and like little golden antennae. The symbol, and one of the symbols for the crown chakra is the 1,000-petaled lotus. So we're representing that now. Draw the shoulders back, open the chest, why not? And then release the hands. Lovely. So we can find that mudra whenever you like as a symbol of being open and connecting with the universe. Okay, right, we're going to find a wide leg position now. So turn to the side of your mat and draw the heels in. We're going to come into a goddess pose. So starting to bend the knees, maybe bring the hands to your hips if that feels good. Bend the knees and just ease yourself up and down, checking your knees are tracking to your toes. So you can always adjust slightly here. Just see how that feels, trying to keep our body upright so we're not leaning in or rounding the back. And once we feel like we're at a height that feels okay and manageable to hold for a moment, press into the feet. We can bring the arms in, we can find our classic goddess pose here, where we're really open, a symbol of being open, open-minded, open-hearted, with everybody, every being, trying to just open the knees here, roll the shoulders back, open the hands, get that lift. We can draw the elbows in, maybe here, we can open up, adding any kind of movement you like that feels good, any sort of intuitive movement, maybe a little bit side to side, maybe a little bit of rocking, a bit of dancing. If there's no one watching, do whatever you want here. Just trying to hold the pose for one more breath. Maybe create the Sahasrara Mudra. And then relax, straighten the legs here, give them a little jiggle. Whew, much needed. Goddess pose is a great one. You can just come into like a bit of a squat pose for just really strengthening everything. Let's draw the toes back in now so our feet are more parallel. And we're going to take a fold, a wide-legged forward fold. You can always grab a block here if you want to sort of come down incrementally. So find your wide leg position you choose. You can always adjust. And you always have a little micro bend to the knees as well. And maybe holding your hips to remind you to hinge here. Hinge at the hips and lean forwards. Kind of face this way. Leaning forwards. Inhale to lift. Keep lengthening through the back. Exhale, the hips can come backwards for a bit of stability here. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, lower. Maybe the hands come down to the block, whichever height suits you, or hold on to something. Use that breath to bring yourself down nice and gently. Maybe the fingers come to the ground. Inhale and exhale. As I said, you can always have a little micro bend here. Try not to lock out the legs too much. Exhale, relax the head. Maybe walking the fingers, hands a little bit further through. You can always come back up to this halfway. Maybe come up to a halfway lift again. See how that feels. You can hold on to something. Maybe drawing the hands backwards and cactusing them back. Drawing them forwards, cactus back. Let's give ourselves something to really work here. Awesome. And then drop our hands down. We're going to either slide the block or walk our hands over to our left foot. So have our right hand on a left ankle and lift the left hand up, getting a lovely twist here. Inhale and exhale, come down. Walk over to the other hand. The right hand comes to the left ankle. Lift the right arm up. Sorry, the left hand comes to the right. Lefts and rights. I'm not completely concentrating. I go out the window. You know what I'm doing. I think you can work it out. We're going to heel toe the feet in. So they're on the edges of the mat now. And bring the toes there, just a little angle out towards the edge of the mat. And we're going to sink down into our Malasana, our yogi squat. So ease yourself in and see what level you want to come to. Again, you can hold the block. You can stay here. If you can get down a little bit lower, you can always sit on the block or sit on any little stool. So we're trying to get back upright. We're trying to really connect and draw the energy all the way through from our pelvic floor up through the crown chakra, the crown of our head. So trying to be nice and upright here. You can squeeze the knees against the elbows and just taking a moment in whichever yogi squat you can find, whatever feels okay. And then we're going to bring the hands back down to the mat, tuck the feet underneath and come back into sort of a tabletop for a moment. In fact, let's kneel back and just roll the shoulders and unwind everything a little bit here. Well done. So we're going to begin to sort of start coming into a headstand, and there's two options I've got for you today. There's the two options, the tripod headstand or the forearms headstand, and they're both got different benefits. I feel more stable, and a lot of people are more stable, and it's better for your head and neck in particular to do the forearm headstand because you can take a lot of the pressure off your head. But the tripod one is sometimes a bit easier to access, a little bit easier to do for a first go. So if you haven't done one for a while, don't be in it for too long. You can always go against a wall as well. I recommend taking your mat against a wall so that if you wanted to have the reassurance of being able to just pop your foot on there if you need it, rather than rolling down. What we don't want is people thudding down and hurting themselves. So we're going to start by bringing our hands down. We're going to come into a little rabbit pose, which is a good beginning for this. Hands down in front of our knees. Lift the hips, and we're just going to see if we can lean forwards, trying to sort of keep those shoulders protracted, and drop the crown of our head onto the mat. You can have a little rock if you like. You can maybe start on your forehead and then rock and just see how it feels. Crown of the head's not the very top. It's kind of in between the forehead and the top. Finding a position that feels okay. You can always put a blanket here to cushion, nothing too spongy, but just a gentle bit of cushioning. And roll, and just see if we can find this rabbit pose, lifting the hips up to the air, drawing the belly in. You can press through the hands so the shoulders are activated, and just stay here for a couple of breaths. And then roll back onto our forehead, maybe coming to a little child's pose before slowly coming back up again. Whatever you do today, do it slowly and not rushing things. So that was rabbit pose, and it's a good beginning for a tripod headstand. So the tripod headstand, you have to sort of have this triangle, like a tripod, for your hands and your head. So instead of having it in line, lots of people want to go in line, but you've got a lot less balance there and stability. So we want the structure, the stability of a triangle. So hands either side again. Again, you can start on tabletop if you want, but you might end up wanting to shuffle the knees in slightly. So take a moment to adjust where your hands are, but you need to be able to bring your in fact, trying to have your hands underneath your shoulders, so we don't want them too wide either. And then we're going to see if we can just lean forwards, trying to keep our hips nice and high here. And then bring the head down again. So it's like this rabbit pose. But from here, make sure your head is in a comfortable position on the floor. This deck's a little bit wonky, so I can always get the blanket here. I'm only going to use it not too thick. That should be. Okay, so we're checking that we're in a tripod position with our head and our hands. Once you're there, spread the fingertips, grip with the fingertips. And then you can stay here for as long as you like. That might be as far as you go today. Or you can make sure you're stable through the hands, shoulders away from the ears, and maybe if you've tucked your toes, you can lift your knees and see how that feels. So coming into almost like a dolphin. No, this is, kind of dolphin variation. And you can stay here, or you can come back down again. Maybe everyone just come back down, staying low for a moment on your forehead, or just kneeling up for a moment. And I'll show you the next little step, if you come back into this position, is to walk the feet in, trying to bring our hips so they're really over the top of our shoulders, so that they're not back here. If they're back here, you're going to end up having to kick. And we don't want to kick. We need to be able to come all the way over so that almost our toes just float up. At this point, you can either just tuck them in, maybe lift one and bring it down, maybe lift the other one and down, really drawing the belly in, pressing through the hands, pressing through the shoulders. Some people like to, at this point, pop a knee on top of the ledge because you created a ledge with your elbows. If you haven't created a ledge, then you need to probably go back to just aligning yourself, especially if they're out here, and just checking they're nicely aligned. If you do get to this stage, you can always watch this and then come back and try it again. You can stay here, or you can really press through your hands and come into a little tuck, really using the abs now, engaging my core, and maybe stay here, especially if you haven't got a wall behind you. At this point, if you did have a wall, you can just maybe tap your foot against it. You can come back down, or you can maybe extend one leg up the sky and then the other. So I'm really pressing through my fingers and my shoulders to try and take a lot of the weight off my head, and then coming back into the tuck, and then bringing the feet back down with lots of control. And then just maybe rock onto your forehead for a moment, staying nice and low, lengthening the neck, taking the pressure off, and slowly roll up to a kneeling position. And taking your hands behind your neck, interlace the hands, maybe open the elbows, take a big inhale, and maybe draw the elbows in and just get a lovely stretch through the neck. And just any movement you need here, maybe a little massage of the neck. But yeah, that is tripod variation. You can spend as long as you like having a go at that, but really I can't recommend enough to just keep it slowly and only do the variation that feels okay for your body. Lots of people launch up way too quickly, end up doing roly-polies and thudding into things and then damaging their neck. So only start to lift the legs if you've either got someone supporting you, you've got a wall there, or you've done this before and you know where you're going and you can literally float those legs up. Any kicking is going to end in disaster. Okay, I will briefly show you the forearm handstand, which is sort of a better one for me, in my opinion, for me anyway, maybe not for you. And it's good because it takes a lot more pressure off the head than that tripod one. Yeah, because with this one, really we're looking for like 15-20% of the weight going through our head. The rest is taken through our arms and our forearms. So again, we bring our elbows down to the mat, sort of like in tabletop, but bring our elbows to where our wrists were. And you can always check by holding onto your elbows that they're in the right position, so they're not out too wide or they're not too far in. And then you can undo your hands and just interlace the fingers. A little tip here is just to curl your bottom pinky finger in so that it doesn't take up too much. It can really hurt if it's getting squished. So tuck it in so that it's protected. And you're creating a little basket for your head, okay? Basket for your head, and the crown of your head is going to go on the floor and the basket holds sort of the back of your head. So once you're here, press through your shoulders, separate your shoulders, draw your belly in, activate your core and bring your head down and just see how that feels. Lifting, making sure your hips are over your knees, maybe tucking the toes and maybe lifting the knees. And at this point, seeing if you can just lift your head slightly, which really shows that you're using the strength of your arms and your upper body and your shoulders rather than dumping it all on your head, which will therefore hurt your neck. So you can stop at any point and just come into child's pose or just give yourself a rest. Or once you're at this stage, you can do the walkie on your tiptoes, pressing through the shoulders again, pressing through the forearms. And then maybe you can lift one foot. Again, my hips are nicely stacked over. So the other one's literally just going to float. It's floating up and it's joining the other one in a little tuck. So this has got lots of control. I'm not going straight up, and it means you can come back down again. So people who just end up pinging straight up into a straight-legged one, it often hasn't got too much control. If you do want to, there's some pigeons flapping above my head. You can always, if you're at that stage, you can go into the full variation. Again, I'm pressing through my shoulders, pressing so that taking a lot of the pressure off my head. Or you can use a wall or have someone just check and trying to come down with as much control as possible. And then once you're there, rocking onto your forehead, have a little rock and then maybe slide up to a kneeling position. Again, just checking in with your head, your neck, hands interlaced behind the neck. Give it a stretch, a little backwards and forwards, a little massage with the fingers. Draw the elbows in. Maybe a little sort of cat-cow thing going on. Whew, roll the shoulders and then we're going to come down into a child's pose. Whatever variation feels good. Maybe just relaxing the wrists as well. To come straight into child's pose, sometimes a little bit too much. And if it's still, you're feeling stuff, just come a little bit higher. Maybe on your forearms again and just letting your head hang. It's another variation which is nice to stretch the back of your neck and the shoulders. Big breath. Making sure you take time now to just rest, to just check how you feel. A pigeon has just pooed on me. I think there's something really warm. Yeah, that's disgusting. Pause. Okay, I'm ready to start again. Sorry, I've had to change my top because that was quite a big splat of poo, which really, yeah, brought me to the present moment there. Woke me up. It's supposed to be lucky, isn't it? Being pooed on, so it's all good, connecting with nature. So yeah, crown chakra fully open. Really, now all it leaves is time for us to just take a moment just to slow things down, maybe coming into a seated position and taking, I think the pigeon is gone now. It's definitely emptied its guts. And we're just going to take a moment to just meditate briefly. Take a moment to be still and present, because a great way just to really activate the crown chakra and really connect. So wherever you are, just sit nice and tall now. Again, inhale the present, exhale the past. Taking all the sensations around you if you're outside, the feelings on your skin, the sounds. You can even open your eyes and just look around you as well. Don't have to have eyes closed to meditate. It's not many rules about meditating. It's just taking yourself away from distractions and taking in everything that's present and having an awareness of the universe, of nature, and just noticing when our thoughts are about the greater world and the universe rather than self-centered ones. And then maybe close your eyes and visualize a brilliant, bright, white light above your head. And as you inhale, draw this light downwards into your body, expanding through your head, your brain, down your spine, into your torso, your heart, and the rest of your body, flooding you with calm, with reassurance that all is well, you are safe, you are where you're meant to be. At this point, maybe bring your attention to an everyday concern or question you might have, something you are carrying with you on your journey, something you'd like a resolution or an answer to. And now we've opened and activated the crown chakra a little today, and the third eye chakra last week. Maybe you might find some clarity or new information to help you answer this question. So just take some time now, seeing if anything comes to you. Reminding yourself all is well and I am safe. Just going to inhale and reach the arms all the way up. Bring the hands together and then open up the fingertips apart from the index and the thumb and find our Sahasrara crown, thousand petal lotus mudra. Just a last little extension and golden antennae extending into the universe, drawing in anything that we need. Let's relax the hands. And just think about thoughts to take into your week. What does oneness mean to you? When do you feel most connected with something bigger than yourself? And can you just take time to notice the universe around you more? Sometimes just by walking barefoot, going outside, taking a minute or two in the morning, the first thing you do, just go into your garden, just touch something that's nature. Get pooed on by a pigeon. And I hope you have a wonderful week. The pigeon is back. I better move. Namaste.